Okay, it seems to be working. Good morning. It's not Friday, but it is live. I've been putting these things off because, it's very easy to get distracted with everything else. I'm like, oh, my hair's not done. I'm not dressed appropriately. I don't have my makeup on. I don't want to go live. I don't want to have this living on YouTube for the next whoever knows how long. But I need to get over that. So we've had some big announcements come out for federal employees specifically this week, but it does impact many others as well. It was yesterday or the day before, I think it was yesterday, that the cost of living adjustments came out for 2023. Very large COLA, 8.7%. This is for people that retired from the federal government under the civil service retirement system, and it is 1% less than that, or 7.7% for those people that retired from the federal government under the Federal Employees Retirement System, or FERS. But FERS employees don't receive COLA until they're 62 years old, unless they retired on a disability or they retired under something that's called special provisions. I don't want to get into all of that today. That 8.7% cost of living adjustment applies to Social Security recipients as well. What I do want to talk about today is a corresponding increase in the cost of federal employees' health benefits as well, and the things that maybe you should consider in trying to save yourself just a little bit of money for that federal employees' health benefit. So my name is Debbie Hatch. I am the owner and founder of Pinnacle Personnel Services, traveling throughout the federal government, teaching employees about their federal retirement and their benefits. So here, corresponding increase, as I said, right? On average, 8.7% increase in the federal employees' health benefits premiums. So a lot of times people get really excited when we see a large cost of living adjustment. We're going to get more money. Yes, but you get a large cost of living adjustment because there has been a large increase in the cost of things. And when we see the COLA go up, again, we also see the things that we're spending money on going up. Now, I do want to say that this 8.7% increase in FEHB is an average. Not all of the plans went up by 8.7%. And in fact, some of the plans actually decreased in this coming year. So I think one of the things that federal employees don't take advantage of is the fact that we have an annual open season. Every single year, open season runs from the second week of November through the second week of December. And for this year, it does start on the 14th of November. Now, the fact that we have an annual open season means that we can go out there once a year and change plans if we want to. A lot of times people don't. Right? They came to work one day, maybe they talked to a coworker who said, this is a great plan, this is the one that I have, and now this person has had this plan as well for the last 30 years or something, and they've never looked at getting a different plan. That's a disservice that we do to ourselves. You should go out there and look. I looked up the number this morning, of 271 plans in this use period, 2023, 271 different plans. They're not all available where you are because some of those are HMOs. They are limited to specific regions or pockets or maybe a state or something like that. But there are 200 plus plans available to you that you're not currently enrolled in. So if yours is going up substantially in cost, maybe you want to get out there and do a little bit of research for yourself, which you can do at opm.gov, and see if you can find one that will provide the services that you want or need. That's important, but also potentially that's going to save you a little bit of money. So I definitely would recommend everybody get out there. Brandon, I see your question here. Can I do a delayed retirement with only 18 years if I'm 47? Sure. It's called a deferred retirement, Brandon. That's what that is. And what I'll do once I hop off this live stream is send you a link to another video that I did talking specifically about that deferred retirement so that you have all the information that you need to, Brandon, okay? Definitely can, and I'll send you a link to that. Today, what I want to try to focus on is the federal employees' health benefits, because I made a post yesterday and said, since the cost is going up, people should look at ways that they might be able to save money. So one of the ways that I might do that is by looking to see if there's another plan that I can switch to. Another way that I might do that is by enrolling in a flexible spending account or a health savings account. And when I made that post, a lot of people said, well, what's the difference between them and how do I know if I'm eligible to do a flexible spending account or a health savings account? So that's really what I've wanted to focus on today. Within the federal government, we have those 271 different plans, but they fall under 3 major categories. So we have fee-for-service plans, we have health maintenance organizations, and we have something that's called a high deductible plan. Fee-for-service gives you the most flexibility. You have a copay, you have a deductible, but you can essentially go wherever you like for your medical care. And because they do give you the most flexibility, they generally are a little bit more expensive as far as the premiums go. The health maintenance organizations are more limiting. You can only see the doctors within your approved network. You want to go outside of that network, then you're hoping to get a referral from your primary care provider, or maybe you're going to be willing to pay for those additional services out of pocket. And sometimes the lines get a little bit blurry and they get mixed up. I don't want to get into all of that today either. So what I'm really talking about are what I'll call pure fee-for-service and health maintenance organization. And then the third one, that high deductible health insurance plan. If you've been to one of my classes, you've heard me talk about that by talking about car insurance. It seems weird, but bear with me for just a second, okay? If you call your car insurance company this afternoon, I'm trying to look for comments on my phone because I can't see them on my computer. If you were to call your car insurance company this afternoon and tell them that you want to raise your deductible, your rates go down, right? Your premiums are less, you save money, everything is amazing until you have an accident. And then you have to pay that higher deductible. Well, these high deductible health insurance plans are that same thing, except from a health insurance perspective instead of a car insurance perspective. When I sign up for a high deductible health insurance plan, my premiums are lower, but my deductibles and my out-of-pocket expenses are higher. So again, this is the time of the year when we see a lot of changes coming out. They have recently announced the 2023 maximum out-of-pocket cost for the high deductible plans, and also how much we can put into something called a health savings account. So you see them on my screen here. 2023 deductible for these high deductible plans, $1,500 for self only. If you are enrolled in a self plus one or a self and family, which is you plus one or more qualified family members, this could be a child up to the age of 26 or your spouse, or again, a combination of those. $3,000 deductible. This is annual for 2023 if you have the self plus one or the self and family. And total out-of-pocket costs for 2023 if you're enrolled in a self only, $7,700, which is an increase of $450 over what it was last year. And then up to $15,000 out-of-pocket costs if you have a self plus one or a self and family. So remember, I said that these cost you a lot more as far as those deductibles and higher out-of-pocket costs, but they cost you less in premiums. So really designed for people that don't go to the doctors very often, don't need a lot of medical care, only if you're enrolled in a high deductible health insurance plan, not fee-for-service, not HMO. Then can you participate in something that's called the health savings account, or an HSA. The HSA allows you to have money coming out of your paycheck before taxes and going into this bucket that you can then dip into anytime you have medical related expenses. So with the health savings account, this bucket of money belongs to you. It doesn't get taken away at the end of the year. It doesn't, if you decide that you're going to leave the federal government, it doesn't go away. Any money that you put into your health savings account is yours. And as long as you use it for medical related expenses, then you don't have to pay taxes on that. Depending on the high deductible plan that you have, your HSA may be in cash or it may be invested in the market. So if it's invested and it grows, you don't pay taxes on the growth of that either. It's your money. You can withdraw it for any reason, but if you are pulling it out and it is not for a health-related reason, you do have to pay taxes on that and a potential penalty as well if you're under the age of 65. So there are limits for the amount that we can put into a health savings account. Brand new, going forward into 2023, up to $3,850 if you're enrolled in a self-only plan, and up to $7,500 if you are enrolled in a family plan. So again, I wanted to talk about this because a lot of people said, what's the difference between the health savings account and the flexible spending account? For me to do a health savings account, I have to be enrolled in one of those high deductible health insurance plans. For me to do a flexible spending account, I simply have to be eligible to be enrolled in FEHB. That means I'm working for the federal government in a position that confers benefits and insurances to me. I don't actually have to be enrolled in the FEHB plan. I just have to be eligible for it. So a lot of times I get emails from retired military who are also working for the federal government, and they say, well, I can't do the flexible spending account because I don't have FEHB. I'm just using my TRICARE. That's not true. If you're working for the federal government and you could have FEHB, whether you have it or not, you are eligible to participate in the flexible spending account. So this one doesn't have to be the high deductible plan. And we have 3 different flexible spending accounts that people can choose to put their money into. We have a healthcare flexible spending account, we have a limited expense healthcare flexible spending account, and we have a dependent care flexible spending account. Now the difference between them is what counts as a qualified reimbursable expense. For healthcare, we can essentially say it's anything that's medical related except premiums. For the limited expense healthcare flexible spending account, it is limited to reimbursing only dental or vision expenses, and you can't have a Lex account unless you have a high deductible health insurance plan. The dependent care flexible spending account reimburses you for the cost of having someone cared for so that you can work. A lot of times we think about a dependent child there, and that certainly is true, but it may be anyone that you can legally claim on income tax if you have to hire someone to look after them so that you can work. Now, we do have limits for the amount that we can put into flexible spending accounts as well, and those limits have increased for 2023. So the minimum is $100, and that's per year. The maximum is $3,050 if you have the healthcare or the limited expense healthcare flexible spending account. It remains at $5,000 if you are doing the dependent care flexible spending account. For the FSAs, you sign up during the annual open season. Again, remember this is kicking off on November 14th. You decide which of the flexible spending accounts to sign up for. You decide how much money you're going to put in there. And whatever you choose, that amount of money is going to come out of your paychecks in equal installments for the next 26 pay periods. And then you're either filing claims for reimbursement or you're linking this to your insurances, so it's taken care of automatically. People have various ways for how they can get their money back, and it's completely up to you how you do that. Big topic for today, right? Your health insurance may be going up. It's going up on average 8.7%. Look around. You have other plans. You may find one that is going to provide the services that you want or need at the same price that you're paying right now, or maybe even less, depending on the plan that you're looking at. Look at the potential of enrolling in a flexible spending account during this open season as well. There are 3. And or if you're not going to the doctors very often and you're willing to pay those elevated those elevated deductibles or out-of-pocket costs, then maybe you want to consider doing that health savings account. I have given you a couple of slides in the packet. I just think it's helpful as you're watching the replay for you to be able to see the comparisons side by side. For the health savings account, you've got to be enrolled in a high deductible health insurance plan or you can't do it. For the flexible spending account, you don't have to be enrolled at all. You simply have to be eligible. The health savings account money does belong to you, and because that's true, it does roll forward year after year. That pot of money is yours. The flexible spending accounts, for the most part, are use or lose accounts. And the reason I said for the most part is that we are allowed to roll forward a limited amount of money for the healthcare flexible spending account and for the limited expense healthcare flexible spending account that is going up to $610 for 2023. Anything more than that, when we roll over into the new calendar year, is going to be forfeited. There is a short grace period for the dependent care flexible spending account, but the limited expense in the healthcare does end on December 31st. Anything more than $610 in there, or you don't enroll to do a flexible spending account for the coming year, then that money is forfeited. So that's another difference too. For the health savings account, I sign up when I have that high deductible health insurance plan, and unless I change something, nothing changes. For the flexible spending accounts, it does require annual re-enrollment. So if I don't sign up to do it next year, I don't just get to carry forward that $610. I forfeit it. If I retire, the health savings account is mine. If I leave the federal government, the health savings account is mine. If I do the flexible spending account and I leave the federal government or retire, that money is forfeited. Once again, that does shut down on the date that I retire. So that's very important to remember. For the health savings accounts, I can withdraw the money if I want to, remembering that I have to pay the taxes and a potential penalty. For the flexible spending account, I can't withdraw the money. It is used only for those qualified reimbursable expenses. So again, you do have both of those slides. I've already talked about this, but I wanted to bring them up in the presentation in case you pause the recording, then you can see side by side the comparison of these two things. I am always available to answer any questions that you have. You can drop your questions right under this recording. Again, I haven't been able to see the live stream questions while I'm talking. Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. Today I just wasn't able to do that, but I'll definitely check for any kind of comments or questions once I do hop off the stream. You can go there, you can ask your questions at any time. There is also a little link on my page where you can send me a message. Feel free to do that, or you can hop on over to my website, which is pinnaclepersonnelservices.com. There is a tab there where you can send me an email. Happy to answer. You have suggestions for other things that you would like for me to talk about in the live stream, I would be thrilled to get those suggestions as well. Thank you so much for watching, and hey, let me know if you catch the replay, okay? Let me know if this was helpful. That really means a lot to me. Thank you so much, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day.